The pictures speak for themselves. This is what war in Europe looks like in the year 2022. This is the battle for Severodonetsk. For weeks now, Vladimir Putin's army has been attacking the city. Day and night, Russian shells rain down everywhere. They use both artillery and aircraft to bomb the city, and when they stop, suicidal Russian infantry assaults begin. The city has turned into what can best be described as a meat grinder. Several hundred soldiers on both sides lose their lives here every single day. The fighting is close quarters. It is building for building, room for room. The last time fighting this intense occurred in Europe was during the Second World War. Constant Russian attempts to gain full control over Severodonetsk has been repelled by the competent Ukrainian defenders. The Russians tried to cut them off and surround them by blowing up all bridges leading into the city from neighboring Lysychansk. But where there is will, there is a way. And the Ukrainian soldiers have exceptional morale. They are fighting for their homeland and their fellow citizens. They are constantly and successfully resupplying their army within Severodonetsk. They do that by using small rubber boats and strings to pull themselves across the river. They get wounded and civilians out of the city the same way. Some Ukrainian soldiers simply swim across the river. The Russians will pay in blood for every single building they take. Vlad the Mad and the so-called second most powerful army in the world is apparently having so much trouble in Severodonetsk that he's pulling troops away from the Kharkiv area and sending them towards Izium, where the Russians have renewed their offensive south. They are also attacking north from Popasna. It looks more and more like the new Russian plan is to try and cut off the entire Severodonetsk-Lysychansk pocket from the rest of free Ukraine. This is something that would be catastrophic if it were to become reality. But remember, the Ukrainian army has been fighting the Russians in this area for more than 8 years, since 2014. They know the land, and their morale is much higher than that of their enemies. The Russian conscripts they are fighting against see their fellow soldiers falling like flies. They see them burning alive, and they see them get maimed for life. And for what, they ask. 34,000 Russian soldiers have already died in Ukraine trying to achieve Vladimir Putin's imperial dream. The number is probably even higher than that. And if you were to count wounded as well, Russia has probably had more than 100,000 casualties since the beginning of the war. In comparison, NATO lost only 3,500 soldiers during 11 years of war in Afghanistan. And the war in Ukraine is only getting deadlier with each passing day. There's absolutely no end in sight. The Secretary General of the NATO alliance stated that it could very well continue for years. And as we already know, Putin has dreams of invading other sovereign countries as well. The other day, he literally compared himself to the Russian Tsar Peter the Great. He also drew a parallel between his war in Ukraine and the campaigns and conquests of Tsar Peter during the Great Northern War back in the 18th century.
Петр I Северную войну 21 год вел. Казалось бы, там воевал со Швецией, что-то отторгал. Ничего не отторгал. Он возвращал. Он когда заложил новую столицу, ни одна из стран Европы не признавала эту территорию за Россией. Все признавали ее за Швецией. Полез туда, возвращал и укреплял. Вот что делал. Вот. Ну, судя по всему, на нашу долю тоже.
He said that there were both historic quests to win back Russian lands. But what does Vladimir Putin consider as Russian lands? At the Saint Petersburg Economic Forum, he told us exactly that. In Vladimir Putin's mind, All territory of the former Soviet Union is historic Russian lands. That includes not only Ukraine, but also the Baltic states, Georgia, and several Central Asian countries. He said, and I quote, "What is the Soviet Union? It's historical Russia. As it happens, it ceased to exist." And I want to emphasize that in recent history, we have always treated the process of sovereignization that has occurred in the post-Soviet area with respect. He also said that the only reason why he launched his so-called special operation was because Russia and Ukraine didn't have good relations. What he's saying is nothing more than a veiled threat to all former Soviet nations. He's saying, do what we tell you or face invasion. Vladimir Putin is not even trying to hide his imperial ambitions anymore. They are completely out in the open. He's thinking like an 18th century ruler would, trying to gain territory because it looks good on a map. And in Ukraine, he has gone all in. There's no way back now. The only way now is escalation. That is a fact we all need to accept. There's only one way to defeat Vladimir Putin, and that is on the battlefield. He has to lose this war. He must not gain anything from it, not a single square meter of land. Because if he gains anything, he will be able to sell it to the Russian people as a victory, and then he will do the same thing again. The only way to get rid of Putin is by making him lose this war. Whatever it takes, it has to be done. We need to supply Ukraine with whatever they need to win this war, because if we wait too long, the war will escalate even more and the possibility of it spreading will become even greater. The fate and future of the entire First World is decided in eastern Ukraine. Our future will be decided in places you probably had never even heard about before February 24th. Places such as Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, Darfenke, Popasna and Marinka. Appeasers who want the Ukrainians to make peace with the enemy and give up their homeland don't know what they're talking about. It is defeatism. That would only leave Vladimir Putin wanting even more, and he would know that we would let him take it. Imagine if people like them would have had their way on September 3rd, 1939, or on December 7th, 1941. I don't want to sound cheesy, but freedom isn't free. And the inflation and gas prices we are feeling in the West is a very small price to pay. And I'm sorry to tell you, but to win this war, more is needed. But the price we are going to have to pay for defeating Russia will be nothing compared to the price if Vladimir Putin gets out on top. The Russians have 10 times more artillery than the Ukrainians. That have to change. Because even with the numbers against them, the brave Ukrainians are still managing to stop not only the Russians from advancing, but they have also made several successful counterattacks. Just imagine what they could do to the Russians if we gave them what they need. I'll tell you what would happen. They would push every single invader back to where they came from. They would defeat Vladimir Putin for us. And this brings us back to the ongoing battle for the Donbas region. Because for every minute we wait, the enemy moves closer, and more of this happens. This is the Russian world. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please stay with me for a moment. If you're watching this on Reddit, I would be extremely grateful if you could go down into the comment section, find the link to the video on YouTube, and go there and give the video a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Right now, the YouTube algorithm isn't really showing my videos to anyone. And likes, subscribers, and comments really helps me with that. So if you have 20 seconds, I would be very grateful. Thank you.